Hey friends, welcome to this full body gentle yoga flow. We are going to be strengthening and stretching the whole body whilst showing up in a loving, compassionate way. We'll get started today in child's pose. So when you're ready, joining the big toes together, separating the knees slightly, walking the fingers, the arms out in front, and melting the belly, the chest, the face towards the earth. Tuning into the breath. Noticing if there are any regions of the body where you are feeling sensation. And seeing if you can create space to be there with those emotions, with those thoughts. Giving yourself permission to surrender, to soften. Offering yourself one more loving breath in child's pose. And gently working your way upright to tabletop. Wrists are in line with shoulders, knees are in line with the hips, core is engaged. Inhale, scoop the chest forwards, gaze up, cow pose. Exhale, press into the palms, cat pose, curl and round. Taking a few more gentle rounds of cat and cow as we begin to warm up the body. Seeing if you can be present with each movement. Returning to tabletop, grounding down through the left palm and the right leg, we'll begin to inhale, extend the right leg and the right arm, raise them to shoulder and hip height. Exhale, lower down and return to tabletop. And again, extend, lift, lower, tabletop. Extend, lift, lower, tabletop, just like that. Doing your best to keep the hips squared, keeping the core engaged. Firing up the glutes and the hamstrings here, as well as the stabilizing muscles of the right leg. Noticing what's going on around the face, the neck, the jaw. Is it possible to soften into these regions? Taking one more round on this side, we'll meet in tabletop. This time extending the left arm and the left leg, raising them to hip and shoulder height, lowering down, returning to tabletop. Keep going. One more round. Meeting in tabletop position, reconnecting with the breath. And from here, tenting up onto the fingertips, engaging the core, and we'll guide the right knee to the chest, mindfully placing the sole of the right foot between the palms, coming into a supported low crescent lunge, finding length along the back of the neck, maybe staying here, or engaging the core, engaging the inner thighs as we raise the arms overhead, perhaps joining the palms together. A slight tuck of the pelvis so that we're protecting the lower back and really stretching deep into the hip flexors on the left-hand side. We want the right knee to be in line with the right ankle. Returning the palms to heart center, and we'll twist to the right, placing the left tricep on the right thigh, maybe gazing over that right shoulder, or looking down to the earth if it's more favorable for your neck. Another option is to tuck the left toes under and raise and extend that back leg. Again, scissoring those inner thighs together so that we're lifting up and out of the pelvic ball. Staying high on the ball of that back foot. Seeing if you can get the left heel in line with the left ball of the foot. One more breath. Lower the knee to the earth. Return to crescent lunge. Frame the front foot. Step back into tabletop position and sink the hips back into child's pose. Affording yourself one more loving breath in child's pose. Returning to tabletop position, and we'll get set up to take this flow on the other side. Tenting up onto the fingertips, engaging the core, and mindfully placing the left foot between the palms. Taking any adjustments that feel good. And either staying in this low supported variation, or on your inhale, raising the arms overhead, joining the palms together. Seeing if you can create space between the earlobes and the tops of the shoulders. Breathing into any regions where you're feeling sensation. One more breath. Joining the palms together at heart center and taking a twist, turning to the left. Really using the palms to press into one another to help you elevate and elongate that torso. Maybe tucking the right toes and extending that right leg for a bit of a challenge. Can you sink those hips down a little more? Find that inner strength, that inner focus. Mindfully return the right knee to the earth. Raise the arms overhead and frame the front foot, stepping back into tabletop position and sinking the hips back into child's pose. Well done. Pause here for a moment. If your mind had begun to wander, reconnecting with the breath, meeting in tabletop position, walking the hands out in front a few inches, tucking the toes under, we'll come into downward facing dog. Finding a beautiful stretch along the entire backside of the body. And it might feel nice to bend one knee, straighten the other. And in your own time, finding stillness, gazing between the feet. Ribs are soft, slight tuck of the chin, maybe guiding the heels towards the earth. Using core strength, we'll guide our right knee to the outer edge of that right arm, placing the sole of the foot down on the outside of that right palm, shifting the hips forwards and backwards slightly, lowering that back knee, maybe pointing the toes, and either tenting up onto the fingertips, or if it's in your practice, lowering down onto the forearms, lizard pose, maybe opening that front hip out to the side, really allowing yourself to breathe into this posture. Taking any variations that feel nourishing. If you are on your forearms, mindfully placing the palms under the shoulders, re-extending the arms, extending the back leg and stepping back into plank pose, pushing back into down dog. Taking 2 mindful breaths in downward facing dog. And this time guiding the left knee to the outer edge of that left arm, placing the foot down, setting up for your variation of lizard pose. Knowing that if any of these postures feel intense, you can always back out of it. Choose something that is better suited to your energy levels, your interests for today. One more breath in lizard pose. We'll step back into plank pose and push up into downward facing dog. Well done. Breathe. From down dog, we'll guide the right knee to the chest, and this time guide the right ankle to the outer edge of that left wrist, right knee towards right wrist, setting up for pigeon pose. Hips are squared, the left leg is extended behind you, toes are pointed, maybe staying upright or coming into a forward fold. Perhaps resting your forehead on your hands on the mat. Find what feels good. One more breath in Pigeon Pose. If you're in a fold, returning the palms under the shoulders, stepping back into Downward Facing Dog. It might feel nice to find some organic movement here, perhaps walking out the dog. One breath in Down Dog, and we'll take this on the other side. This time guiding the left knee to the left wrist, left ankle to right wrist, and finding your variation of Pigeon Pose. Really allowing yourself to soften here, to surrender. Wherever you are in the posture, we'll meet in Downward Facing Dog, giving yourself as much space and time as you would like to transition into this posture. And this is our last Downward Facing Dog, so really giving yourself permission to stretch it out. And gently lower the knees down to the earth, sink the hips back, Child's Pose. Well done, friends. You're more than welcome to stay in child's pose for as long as you like, and when you're ready, joining us in a seated position, perhaps closing the eyes, and together we'll close practice in a space of gratitude, honoring and recognizing your efforts for showing up here today. Thank you all so much. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.